service to his country. I have sometimes asked myself whether my country is the better for my having lived it all. I do not know that it is. I have been the instrument of doing the following things, but they would have been done by others, some of them perhaps a little better. The Rivanna had never been used for navigation. Scarcely an empty canoe had ever passed down it. Soon after I came of age, I examined its obstructions, set on foot a subscription for removing them, got an act of assembly passed, and the thing effected, so as to be used completely and fully for carrying down all of our produce. The Declaration of Independence. I proposed the demolition of the church establishment and the freedom of religion. It could only be done by degrees, to wit, the Act of 1776, exempted dissenters from contributions to the church, and left the church clergy to be supported by voluntary contributions of their own sect, was continued from year to year and made perpetual 1779. I prepared the Act for Religious Freedom in 1777 as part of the revisal, which was not reported to the Assembly till 1779, and that particular law not passed till 1785, and then by the efforts of Mr. Madison. The Act putting an end to entails. The Act prohibiting the importation of slaves. The Act concerning citizens and establishing the natural right of man to expatriate himself at will. The Act changing the course of descents and giving the inheritance to all the children equally, I drew as part of the revisal. The Act for apportioning crimes and punishments, part of the same work I drew. When proposed to the legislature by Mr. Madison in 1785, it failed by a single vote. G.K. Taylor afterwards in 1796 proposed the same subject, avoiding the adoption of any part of the diction of mine, the text of which had been studiously drawn in the technical terms of the law, so as to give no occasion for new questions by new expressions. When I drew mine, public labor was thought the best punishment to be substituted for death. But while I was in France, I heard of a society in England who had successfully introduced solitary confinement, and saw the drawing of a prison at Lyons in France, formed on the idea of solitary confinement, and being applied to by the governor of Virginia for the plan of a capital and prison, I sent him the Lyons plan, accompanying it with a drawing on a smaller scale better adapted to our use. This was June 1786. Mr. Taylor very judiciously adopted this idea, which had now been acted on in Philadelphia, probably from the English model, and substituted labor in confinement to the public labor proposed by the Committee of Revisal, which themselves would have done had they been to act on the subject again. The public mind was ripe for this in